Hi friends, and welcome back to DIY with Ashley. If you're new here, I share fun and beginner-friendly DIY projects, mostly sewing, but I love to mix in other creative ideas too. Last year, I started bullet journaling and using notebooks to stay organized, but I kept misplacing pens and bookmarks, so I made this cute practical pen holder for my notebook. And now I even use it to hold my bookmarks too. This project is perfect if you have any cotton scraps laying around. If not, you can also use a fat quarter worth of fabric. I actually only used about 1/3 of a fat quarter, so you really don't need a lot of fabric for this project. Alright, let's get into the rest of the supplies you'll need for this project. You'll also need some light to midweight interfacing. So if you have some scraps of interfacing from another project, this is a perfect opportunity to use them. You'll also need coordinating thread and your sewing machine, either fabric shears or a rotary cutter. You'll also need some sewing pins or quilting clips, an iron and an ironing board. You'll also need some elastic or fold over elastic. I would recommend something either 5/8 or 1/2 inch in width. You'll also need an acrylic ruler and a cutting mat, as well as a turning tool or a chopstick to help push out the corners. The first step is cutting out your fabric and your interfacing. Cut 2 pieces of fabric for the front and back, 8.5 inches by 3 inches. Then cut 1 piece of interfacing the same size, which will fuse to the back piece. For the pocket, you're going to cut 1 piece of fabric 11 inches by 3 inches, and cut 1 piece of interfacing for the pocket as well. Step 2, we're going to apply our interfacing. Fuse the interfacing to the back piece and the pocket piece. Also, make sure you follow the instructions for your interfacing. I'm not sure what happened with my pocket piece, but for whatever reason, the interfacing wouldn't adhere properly, so I had to redo it. Step 3. Fold the pocket in half, wrong sides together, and press the fold using your finger. Then you're going to fold the pocket piece in half again to find the center and mark it with a pin at the top and bottom. Repeat this step for the back, marking the center with a pin. Step 4, we're going to measure and cut our elastic. If you're not sure what size to make, I would recommend using 11 inches of elastic. That's what I did for mine, and I'll be using my pen holder with a composition notebook or with my Happy Planner. Step number 5, we're going to attach the pocket piece to the back. We're going to make sure that we match up the center of the pocket with the center of the back piece. Once we have everything pinned or clipped into place, we're going to go ahead and attach our elastic. You'll want to find the center of your elastic and line it up with the center of the pocket and the back piece, and do the same for the top of the back piece. Then clip or pin everything into place. Step number 6, we're going to go ahead and baste the elastic to the bottom of the pocket and the top of the back piece. Before we move on to the next step, we want to go ahead and take a pin and pin the elastic down so that it stays out of the way while we sew everything up. Step number 7, take your front piece and lay it right sides together on top of the back and pocket piece. At this point, everything is going to be really bulky, so I recommend using quilting clips to hold everything in place. Due to all the bulk, I had a really hard time lining up my edges and getting everything even. Alright, now that I have this about as even as I'm going to get it, it's time to move on to step number 8. For this next step, we're going to go ahead and take this to our machine and sew around the entire edge using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Make sure you leave a gap of about 3 to 4 inches on one side so that you can turn it right side out when you're done. As you sew around the outside, make sure you're going slow and you don't accidentally sew up some of the elastic. Okay, before we turn this right side out, we want to go ahead and trim the corners to reduce any bulk, and so we get sharper corners when we turn it right side out. Step number 9, we're going to go ahead and use the opening that we left for ourselves and turn this right side out. Once everything is right side out, you want to either grab your turning tool or a chopstick and push out the corners so that they're nice and pointy. Be gentle when you do this part. You don't want to push the corners too far out or accidentally push through them and create a hole. Before moving on to step number 10, which is top stitching, we want to go ahead and take this to our iron and flatten the edges. Move the elastic out of the way as you iron the edges. We don't want to accidentally iron the elastic. You'll also want to make sure that you iron the opening part so that it lays nicely when you go to top stitch. For step number 10, we're going to top stitch all the way around 1/8 of an inch away from the edge, making sure to close the opening. And that's it. You just made your own DIY notebook holder. I hope you love how functional and customizable this is. Whether you use it for pens, bookmarks, or a nail file like I sometimes do, it's such a handy little project. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more DIY projects like this one. I love seeing the things you guys create, so if you end up using this tutorial, please be sure to tag me at DIY with Ashley and drop a comment down below letting me know what you're going to be using yours for. Again, thank you so much for watching, happy sewing, and I'll see you in the next video.